Well, folks, I got 4 o'clock, so we're going to start with the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. Well, we have a bit of business today, so we'll move along as quickly as we can. We have minutes from the 20th to approve.
Red man, I make a motion to approve the minutes for March 20th, 2023.
I'll second that.
Move a second to approve the March 20th minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And then payroll. We have payroll in the amount of $214,778.79.
I make a motion to approve payroll in the amount of $214,778.79.
Okay, I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, then we have to acknowledge receipt of the payroll claims accounts payable report in the amount of $191,311.30.
And I make a motion to acknowledge receive the payroll claims in the amount of $191,311.30.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so move on to new business. And Katie, you're up first. What you got?
Okay. I am here at the rest of the county council. As you know, we are moving to Exsoft from Proval, which is Manatron, Aumentum, Harris product. The tax side's already moved, and theirs was pretty seamless because they used a company named Data Pit Stop that pulled their data. We do not have anyone like that on our side because Data Pit Stop doesn't deal with assessment. So the council was hoping that we could find a way around paying $5,000 to Aumentum to prepare a file. It's not paying for our data. It is preparing the file so it is readable and being able to be imported into the Exsoft system. I have been trying to work around that. The last major thing I got from Brian Bennett, which is from Aumentum, is that there are contractual agreements, which I do not have a copy of the contract. We pulled the minutes where you guys signed it, but a copy was never given to the auditor's office, and that was in 2009. I do not have it because that was before my time, so I don't have a copy of it. I contacted the Department of Local Government and Finance because we always have to provide our contracts to them. They and their attorneys pulled all the files they could find, but they could not find our Aumentum either. So I have nothing to go back and say, well, this says that we can do this. So I'm going by what they told us, and he said contractually, I cannot let Exsoft pull the data themselves because there are intellectual properties and non-disclosure agreements that are in place that prohibit us from doing that. Now, he said that if I or my IT team can handle the extraction, which I talked to Randy Cleaver, and he's trying to do a mini of that based on what he has investigated on how to do this, and he's not really getting anything at this point. He's concerned about maybe grabbing the wrong thing and getting into the intellectual property. Right. I just want to be clear, though, that we are not paying for our data itself, because that is ours. We are paying to have a file created to transport that data.
Right, I saw that email and read that. My understanding is that even if Randy could pull the data, we don't know that legally he's allowed to pull the data because it could be proprietary. He's concerned that he may not get it all, and at some point we may need what he doesn't have, and then we'd have to hire somebody to come and pull that data again anyway. So I think the realization is there on my part that we're not buying our data, we already have that. We're just paying someone to collect that, transfer it, make it usable for your office going forward with the new software that we just purchased for about $300,000.
Correct, correct.
So to me, it seemed reasonable way to go to have all of that transferred in a workable, usable manner that Exsoft knows will work for what they need done. You have money in your budget. You have a line you told me.
I have
that's
money
got
in the
some money in
sales
it.
disclosure 1131. They'll probably have to either create a line for it or something, but I can go before the council. I have plenty of money in there, and I can ask for an additional appropriation.
And that money in that line that you have now is for this type of thing, using whatever software you need to do your job.
Correct. It's for anything that we use to validate sales disclosures or get information for the sales disclosures, which is
Exactly what
our
this
software
is.
system, yes.
So do you guys have any questions on that at all?
Nope.
Then I would make the
Fine.
motion that we authorize Katie to use her money from her budget to do whatever needs to be done to transfer that information so it's in workable condition and none of our taxpayers have to be at risk of losing any information.
And I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yep. That it? That was easy. Okay. We already approved this, I think. We have a letter here from Cassie Whitmire.
No, it's a new one.
No,
Oh, it's a new one. Oh, I thought Jacob King was on we approved
Well,
last
we
time.
put him on planning. and
Oh, this is
said,
on the-
This
ah,
is
okay.
zoning, he'll
I
already
gotcha.
be there, he'll be on both,
Right.
this stays the next 15 minutes.
Right, okay. I thought this was just a request for that.
No,
BZA is the Board of Zoning Appeals, so if we have someone who wants to change the zoning, there's a board to go before. And at least one or two members from the Plan Commission have to be on that Board of Zoning Appeals. So Noel Bowers has been on that for years, and now they'd like to be replaced by Jacob King.
and I'll make a motion, we replace Noel with Jacob King.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, Stephanie.
Yes,
Now come on up if you don't mind, so we can get you recorded and hear every word you tell us, so we can hold you to it.
I passed out some information that Jason presented at the LCC meeting on Friday.
I apologize, I could not make that. I had a wedding shower in Evansville. I had to be there for a grandson, so we had to be there.
Well, absolutely. So Jason is requesting 38-gallon containers that go in the little kiosk for drugs, unused drugs, or any drugs that they no longer are required to take. And it's a safe drop-off location, and it's monitored 24/7. So we are going to promote Drug Take Back Day, which is April 22nd. And so with the increase of the liners that he will need, and then to provide him with liners for the rest of the year, he requested $2,421.60.
And that would come from those opioid funds that we received
Yes.
already, yes. And this is exactly as we ask you to do this.
Yes.
That you guys come up with something and bring it to us so we can approve that.
Yes. And I did not print all of the copies of the
I did,
eligible-
so they got all of it.
Okay. So it does fall under the eligible expenses. It's falls under letter G,
Okay.
prevent
Yep,
misuse.
I've got that right here.
of goods.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we got it marked, yeah.
Okay. Well, I have no question. I think this is how we anticipated it working. I think it's a good way for it to work.
Okay.
So we know what money's being used for. We know what's going on. We still got to hold a handle on that as best we can. So if that's the request, and the request is for the $2,421.60,
Correct.
as came from Jason Frazier, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion, we approve payment of that expense Jason request out of the opioid settlement funds.
And I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And so the auditor's office will prepare the claim, or do you want me to prepare the claim?
You prepared the claim.
Okay.
Yep.
I will do that.
Thanks, Stephanie. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Steph.
All right. We have a resolution for First Financial Bank Card Services.
Yeah, it looks like they're increasing the line of credit to amount not exceed $6,000.
Oh, okay.
And then it gives a list of who can use the credit card and who's in charge of the credit
Okay.
card.
Okay.
Exhibit A is the people that can use it, and Exhibit B is the people that's in charge of it.
Okay. So it's not establishing a card, it's just lifting the credit limit.
Yeah.
Which obviously is necessary as times go up and money will go up, so. And that's in the third paragraph. It says it's for our said revolving line of credit in an amount of not to exceed $6,000. You may have any questions on that? Or motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve resolution 2023-04, which increases the line of credit amount for our credit cards.
And I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thanks, guys. All right, then we have something from SRI Services.
It's our annual contract amendment thing, and on the second page, their fees have gone up from $100 to $125. They said they tried to hold off as long as they could.
Okay.
This year, they just needed to raise
I
it.
understand.
And it's just for them to do the tax sale in September.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this isn't money that we as a county actually pay.
We
That's part
collect
of
it.
the tax sale
We collect
cost.
it, but then we
Right.
pay it to them.
But the buyer, I think, of the
Yeah,
tax
the
sale
buyer,
property
mhm.
pays it. So it's really not a.
Part of their cost, we're just
Yeah, so it's,
transferring.
we're
yeah,
just-
so
it's a
we're not
pass-through
paying
on
more
this.
money out of our
Yes.
account or whatever.
And we also collect $25 fee
Yes,
for the
our-
county.
yeah, for ours,
So this year, it used to run between the two, $125, well now it's gonna
It's
run
gonna be
$150 that they have to pay
Yeah.
every parcel.
And-
And these people in Lyford, they owe $2.50 and they don't pay it, and then we add $150
Yeah,
to
every
the
time.
bill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
Yeah, I make a motion we approve the change in the tax sale service support from $100 to $125 and agree with it.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye. Okay.
Gets worse if somebody purchases it for a price and they have to redeem that thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you turn it back to the booth. Back page, I think.
Okay. Got that moved over.
Okay. Then we have a tort claim. Wow, I've got Ken Nunn losses in this one. And big dog.
That's not really gonna end up being us, it's a county, it's a state highway.
I thought that's what that.
I was gonna say, we got two of them, I think I've sent you both of them.
Yeah, they just as a default serve everybody they can think
I was
of
gonna
to
say, they
serve.
got the governor on here and the
Yeah.
attorney general.
Okay.
Yep,
Now, the other one already has a docket number and a claim number.
but we do have to send it to our insurance though.
Okay. Do we need to take any action on it?
You don't know, they default send it to our insurance, I assume they've done that
Okay.
now, so.
We don't even have to acknowledge the receipt of it or anything? Okay.
I just wanted you to see them.
Okay, I appreciate it. I have a couple things before we move on to old business. I met with LTAP, Local Technical Assistance Program out of Purdue that does the road studies and all of that to help roads make better decisions. And Renee and I talked about sharing an engineer with Vermilion County. The state will pay $40,000 to each county to hire an engineer. They haven't required yet that every county shall have a road engineer, but that will be coming at some point, that they'll just have to dictate that every county will have a hired, licensed highway engineer. At first, it was $40,000 given to each county to hire their own, and that wasn't getting very successful. For counties like us, don't really have, I don't think, sufficient work for a full-time engineer. And right now, I've talked about that. We had an engineer before who was superintendent for a while, and Tom Martin, and did most of that work. So then the state changed it where if two counties wanted to go together where they could share engineer services, they could both use their $40,000 toward that. So if there was a $100,000 cost to hire a full-time engineer plus benefits, then on top of that, at least $80,000 of that is covered by the money, the grant from the state. So in vision of it, talk about this, it wouldn't really change anything for the highway superintendents. It just really opens up opportunities. If you go to talk to LTAP, which we'll do, and we'll involve Randy for sure on the next meeting we have, it really opens up grant funding possibilities, especially through the feds if you have a highway engineer doing these things. It will probably more than pay for his position. Our share of that position is by having that person who can now seek those grants from the feds to get jobs done. So my recommendation has been, but now it's really reinforced, that we go down this path, but I don't want to go down it yet. So Jen Sharkey used to be the highway engineer for Steuben County. She now works for LTAP, and that's who I met with Tim Yoakum from Vermilion County, and asked her then at the end if she would arrange a meeting between any counties that have done this, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel and make mistakes going down the path. There really is only one other entity now that has done this, two counties that have done this. So Jen's going to arrange a meeting, a virtual meeting with them and their engineer and their commissioners, and I'm going to try to arrange that so we can have that here, so Randy can join us and you guys can join us, really anybody that's interested in hearing how this might work, and then see if still, that's certainly the council, see if that's still a viable option for us to look at. The thing that interests me is the grant possibilities. We would still have to have outside engineering work done for our projects. This engineer can't do our own bridge inspection, so we're not going to save money along those lines. It's just a matter of the grant opportunity. So I think it's still a viable way to look at it. I'll get that meeting set up and I'll let you know when that is, and we'll all sit down together and see if that's still viable for us. They could also help drastically with 5-year plan, asset management, all those types of things. Randy does the Phaser ratings now on the roads. He could continue that, or the engineer could do that. We'll just have to decide those things as we go. But it won't really impact anything that Randy's now doing job-wise. We'd have to work that out in our relationship. Anyway, I just want to know that's what the conversation was, and we're going to have another meeting on that. Other thing is we're still having difficulty with some paint sheeting off of the top of the courthouse from the paint job, the silver paint that was done for the roof. And so we have contracted, if we approve, contracted with the engineering company that did the engineering work for the whole project. Phil Savage was the engineer on that. And they have a drone, and they will send the drone up then to see exactly what's going on with that paint. We have tried to contact several times the site manager of that company, and I can't remember the name of the paint company off the top of my head, but tried several times. He has quit responding. Our warranty runs out the end of July of this year, so we need to get this in the lawyer's hands before that if we have to have a case that we have not gone past our warranty time, getting them notice. So the cost, I think, was $2,500 to have the drone come and spend the day and do all that stuff. So Don has that in his budget, and I told him I'd bring it up with you guys to make sure it's okay to go into a contract with him to spend that money to get that. I think that $2,500 will be paid for pretty quickly if we had some repairs need to be made. So that would be my motion, that we approve the custodian to enter into a contract with Phil Savage. Remember the name of the company, the engineering company?
No, I'm trying to think of it.
Starts with an A. Anyway, with that engineering company then to do that work and get a report to us. That'd be my motion.
And I'll second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, I'll let Don know that we've done that
Do
then.
you have a copy of the contract with the original people that I could have?
I'll have to look.
Well, yeah, you have to do, because I can't remember when that was.
Or anything
5
about the
years
warranty
ago?
information on it?
Well,
6 years
When was
ago,
it?
Well,
3
it was
years
it
ago?
was 5-year warranty, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
5 years was
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, something like that. So
Something where I can see the warranty link.
But there was some
Don may well have one.
Him and I have talked about this a couple times in
Okay.
the last few months. He called me today, but I didn't get a chance to call
I
him.
asked him to notify you, see what we
Okay.
need to do. I just knew we wanted to have some,
I've
if-
never
if it
seen
meant
the
a letter-
contract, though.
if it meant a letter to you to them that we are aware of these issues and we are responding to these prior to whatever word you guys do, however you guys do that. But I just need to come from you instead of from me.
Yeah, I'd just like a copy of the contract before I
Okay.
send that. That way,
Okay.
I
Have a
understand
check
what
with
I'm
him,
talking
see,
Well,
I'm
tomorrow.
trying to think, they had, the guy that was doing the inspection made him repaint.
Malcolm.
Yes.
And he's the guy that's gonna see this report, so he'll
Yes.
see again, he'll know. He was the guy when they were doing it, approved it, so
Yeah.
if there's a problem with it, he'll be the guy
He'll
who
be aware.
knows why that
I'm
was.
just looking for the claim procedure language is really what I'm
Yeah,
looking for out of the contract.
Okay,
What requirements we have to meet to file it. So.
okay. So, I'll check with Don, if you don't mind checking with Don, he may have a copy of that contract. Surely it's in the auditor's office, so
And
we
we're only
approved
looking
all
at
that.
90 days out and it's up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but as long as you establish that the
'Cause-
problem exists, it's okay.
Yeah, they in contracts you usually give notice language on where you have to file your notice to and when and
Okay.
how often.
Okay.
And so I just want to make sure we meet whatever we contractually agree.
And Don has all those emails where he's tried to contact
Yeah.
Jim LeDoux, who's the guy who was the
I
site
did too.
manager.
I tried to reach out.
Okay.
But he gave me a phone number, but
Okay,
I don't think I've ever seen the contract though.
okay. A couple more things before we move on. I was asked by Mike Rowe asked about if he paid for them, if they could put trail cams in the Bridgeton Bridge to try to keep from having painting and damage done to it. And I'm open to that. I told him I would bring it up to you, see what you guys, he would pay for it, he would provide them. I'm sure they'll get stolen wherever they are in the bridge, but that's his expense. You may not be comfortable with them with cameras being in the bridge, so if you want to restrict it to being outside the bridge to see who goes in and out. Although if that occurred, more than one person really wouldn't know who did the damage once they were inside, so I don't know if there's any value to it or not.
But I think as much as anything, as soon as they go up, they're gonna get tore back down and people's gonna damage stuff climbing across. I know where most of the graffiti ends up, on the north side, there's a light pole right there where you can, I have no problem with them putting it, which would be on county property. I have no problem with them putting it on county property. I prefer it not to be actually attached in the bridge to
Okay.
the bridge. On
Bruce,
both ends, pointing towards the ends, I have no problem
Okay,
with it.
Bruce, you got an opinion on that? You okay with that?
Okay with.
What's your
Yeah,
thoughts,
so-
Randy?
Yeah, I think we're better on the outside.
I mean, as soon as they see him in there, they're gonna climb up and
Yeah.
destroy him.
He thinks they won't, but they're
Outside, they'll have to shoot
They're
him.
gonna get painted or whatever, but,
They'll do it anywhere.
Yeah.
Basically, it'd be, if they're outside, maybe not no damage to the bridge.
so do we wanna tell him then that you're okay to put them on those utility poles,
All
but
those
not on the
utility
bridge
poles
itself?
off, one at each end of the bridge, I have no problem with that.
And viewing just the entrance, not really what's
Yeah.
going on inside the bridge. He may not have an interest to do it if that's the case, so that's okay, that's what I'll tell him.
I think there's a good entrance view from the north, I know there is, and that's
Okay.
where most of the graffiti ends up. I know you can see part of the way in it, even
Okay,
just a drive-by.
two other things, and then we'll move on. I asked Randy, he forgot that we talked about that. If you remember, there was a tree at Bowsher Bridge that's leaning toward the big sycamore tree
Yeah,
that's
we
got the
talked
big
about
bend. We talked about taking that down. Randy forgot that, but he's gonna get a tree service to take that down. I did talk to the Griffins. I got the email to show that they're okay with it. Just drop it and leave it in that field there where it is. They're fine with that, so we don't have to dispose of it or anything. Just get it down, is all they.
I talked to one of the boys with veterans.
Yes, yeah,
He's supposed to have his boss get a hold of it.
okay, good.
Get an estimate from them.
From getting this one from veterans to do it? Yeah, because that'd be our cost, of course, I mean, to do that, so I thought you meant maybe a estimate for them to pay, but yeah, that'd be on us. Okay, and the last I have is Melcher Bridge. I've met there today with a reporter from Channel 10, Blake Dollar. He's always been fair to Parke County, and explained to him, because he was waiting till we had our meeting Friday with the engineers to see what the options were. The engineers had the report, and we met with, the three of us met in Randy's office with the engineer to go over. We can meet like that as a group. No decisions are being made. It's just a fact-finding group, and that's what we met for. And they showed us what plans they have for doing the renovation on the Melcher Bridge. And our consensus, I think, was pretty much that it's what needs to be done, but we need to approve that in an open meeting, and that would be where we are now. Anybody got any questions on what their suggestions were?
No, I think, and But of course, we don't really have a timeline yet either, because
Permits.
the next phase is trying to get a DNR permit.
Yeah.
And that's up to DNR. It could be 6 months, it could be a year. We're hoping, the engineering firm said they put it on the fast track, but DNR only moves at the pace they want to. So that will be probably our next holdup, but I think we probably do need to proceed forward and give Randy permission, do the ad to paper and whatever needs to be
Get
done
the
there. So
bids.
when we do get a DNR permit,
Yeah.
we'll know.
You were okay with the plans, the way they presented them?
Well, I think he's gonna make us a little better plan.
He is, he's gonna draw, yeah. But as far as
That we can
the
see
idea,
and
I'd do it.
Yeah.
you can see it better and understand instead of hand drawings. Yes, correct.
So I think where we are, to get them going on the permit too, and to get you to go with seeking bids once they get the better drawings to you, specs, is for us to approve the plan as presented by the engineering company and then move forward from there. So is there a motion to make that commitment?
Yes, I make a motion, we move forward on the plans, the DNR permit, and allow Randy to advertise bids to figure out what we can do and what our time frame is on the Melcher Bridge.
Get it moving, I'll second that.
All fair, say aye.
Aye.
If you have any questions about it, you can come in from either side of the bridge. I was there today, and it's easy to walk down under the bridge if you go to the east side and go under it, and you can definitely see what needs to be done, the damage to it. You can see the scouring under the abutment. If you look at the abutment, in fact, Dan and I were talking before, it looks like the whole abutment is shifted, it's slanted to the left, but I don't know if it was originally like that in the ground. Now with the changing of the stream, if that dirt's all been washed away from it, and that's the way it was actually poured a little off, just no way of knowing. That bridge is 130 years old, right at 130 years old. So all those sandstone abutments have been there all those years. It's got a concrete face on it where they tried to make repairs. Randy wasn't sure. He knew it was before him. There's not much before Randy. He's really old, so there's not much before Randy on those things. He's been there a long time. But Dan thought maybe 50s or 60s, the way the framing looks on it. That it might have been even a 50s or 60s project.
The way they formed the walls, it was, I can't imagine, because they didn't use any kind of factory. I didn't see any plywood marks in it or anything, so I'm guessing it was,
Yeah, it's probably been quite a few years ago.
yeah.
Okay. So the belief was that the permitting process is reasonable, 4, 5, 6 months, and weather was kind to us. The hope was, and certainly hope everybody understands, we're not promising any finishing time at all, but we were hopeful that by this time next year it may be back open for traffic if things go well. That means DNR get on their job and get the permit done, and then weather's cooperative for the actual work to be done once we accept a bid and a project to do that. Okay. I think that's all the extra things I have. You guys have any old business or new business? Anything outside of what we got on the agenda?
No.
Okay, Jason Frazier, we got the report here that he asked for that money from the opioid fund. Okay, Randy, looks like it's up to you. That's a big folder today. Is there stuff in there?
Yeah, there's a little bit in there.
Yeah.
I have two cycle checks. One of them's for hall signs. I guess we missed a claim, either us or the auditor's office one. So we need your approval to pay that
Okay.
for an amount of $2,972.64.
Okay. I make a motion, we approve an out-of-cycle check to Hall Signs for $2,972.64.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
All right,
And the second one is the amount of $6,875 to VS Engineering for the Melcher Bridge
Okay.
claims.
So I make the motion that we approve an out-of-cycle check to VS Engineering for work on the Melcher Bridge project, and that cost us $6,875.
And I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye. Okay. What else you got?
Was you all aware we got the
Yes.
community crossings?
I let everyone know. What he's talking about is we got that $803,000. That's what it was, wasn't it? 803?
And 326.79.
Okay, for our projects for community crossings. So we will go out then and look at what projects we need to fill the other $200,000 we have left for this year. So we'll get that in the next cycle.
And then looking for.
Looking for next year's too then, yep.
For patching we have done, we got Strawberry Road done, all the way through from Rockville to
Great.
Montezuma, Colma Road, Catlin Road, Bridgeton Road, Verosco Road, and 800 South should be done today.
Oh, great, good. 900 next, then you're going? Is that where you're going?
No, I gotta send them up over in their area,
Okay,
1170 and
okay.
1200 East. I get a lot of calls on that.
How about 900? How far down the road might that be
Well,
before we get to it?
The crew that's supposed to be in that area is working on 500 South right now, and they should be done with it tomorrow.
Okay,
And then I can,
double 900
Run
then?
them over
Oh,
there.
great, okay,
well,
good.
that one will get Coxville Road first.
Okay.
There's
We're getting there.
gonna be some pretty good sized holes in there,
Okay.
so. And of course, we lost one truck, number 23, it's up to Lafayette, being worked on, needs a turbo, and
You can pull a chair up, but you want to stay down there. You
No,
don't
that's
stand no time.
what they call it, particulate filter, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For the deaf, it's
Yeah.
plugged up, so they've got a.
Are all these issues we have in deaf related, are they all that?
Every one of them, just about every one of them, yes. Either the sensors for them or the system itself.
Well, I guess it's good for the environment if the trucks aren't running. I
Yeah,
guess that's
yeah.
good. Cuts back
That's
on
right.
emissions that way. You're not driving them.
The thing of it is, though, even if it's sensor, it throws up false code, then
Yeah.
it goes into limp mode, and it won't run
That's
2
right.
mile an hour, and you go short distance, and it dies again, and,
Yep.
yeah, it's,
That's what this one was doing. Driving it maybe 15 minutes,
I had one a couple months ago, do the same thing.
and that's, I think they told me what they looked at. Give me this one, what they've seen on it so far, about $8,000.
Is this a warranty thing, or how old the truck
No,
is?
no, it's an old
23?
truck.
It's
It's
an
that number 23, the single axle.
Oh, okay.
The first single axle, new one we bought. Let's see. Well, we're gonna start pubbing tomorrow, make our cold mix for paving. So the Parke County aggregates. And the other thing is, I'll see you Thursday morning at 8 o'clock.
I couldn't remember if it's Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah.
I got it on the calendar, I just wasn't sure if it was Thursday or Friday.
Let me make sure, before you leave, make sure I got it on mine.
I'll give you a text.
Yeah, that helps, but
James
So
got it
what's
set
the-
up where I can text all three if you want.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep, I got it on there.
Got it.
Yep, 8 AM.
Are the patching, are the crews just using the machines, or do we
Yeah,
have
that's
some crews using
I've
machines?
got plenty of
Some are
scrap.
doing it by hand.
I've got a
Yes.
pickup with a trailer, if I had a couple, 3 guys left.
Left, they can just go and fill out some holes, but
No, doing my
we're trying
job.
to use all the machines basically
Yeah.
this year, so,
Mhm.
okay.
So you're taking guys out and doing my job then, trailer,
Yeah,
pickup.
trailer and pickup, that's what you
Yeah.
used to do,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they said they was doing a better job than that.
I work cheaper, remember that.
Yeah, I know it. A lot cheaper now.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's all I have, unless you guys have something for me. Oh, Dan, did you get a look at the?
no, I haven't made it over there yet, but I will, and I'll send you a text.
Okay.
What bridge?
I've got-
I'm sorry.
I've got a funeral I gotta take care of the next couple days, then I will,
Okay.
so.
What bridge was that I sent you a picture of?
Conley Ford.
That's
Oh,
what I was just talking about,
Okay, good,
Conley
okay,
Ford.
okay.
Yeah, I'll
Couldn't
get
remember
it
which one
for
that
you.
was. Okay.
I think I'll go ahead and get an excavator rented, and maybe we might start on it tomorrow or something.
On Conley Ford?
Yeah.
I go down there on the way home if you want me
Okay.
to.
Yeah, if you would,
All right, I'll just stop down
Supposed to have
there.
a few
I'll
nice
just,
days
yeah, I'll
on
just
this.
swing through on my way home then.
if you could, I'd appreciate
Yep,
it.
I will.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Thanks.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you.
Been a
Yeah,
tough
then-
spring. Hang in there.
Huh?
Been a tough spring. A lot of
Yeah.
holes. Hang in there.
Cold now.
Yeah.
Cold now.
Cold again.
We may get that freezing and thawing again to keep it up.
Yeah.
Thanks, Randy.
Well, you guys have a good evening.
Any public comments? No? No.
Motion we adjourn.
Nice second.
We're adjourned.